Guys, this is Miss J, your O&A Levels English instructor. So today's video is in continuation to our last lesson. Alright, in the last video we were discussing something called the two words comparison part. And what is that a part of? So basically we have been discussing our paper number 1, and inside paper 1 reading we have been doing section A. And when we further divide it, we are currently on question number 2, which is called use of language. So all of our questions have been centered around how good are we at the English language? How good is our grasp on the subject, specifically on vocabulary? And this question was no different. The part that we were currently discussing was called two words comparison. What were we to do in this part? So basically, you were given two words and you were asked to compare between them. You were given two words and you were asked why. Why has the writer used word X instead of some other word Y? Till now, we only covered one variety in this question. So we can get this question in two different ways. The way that we have discussed previously in the previous lesson was called 2 degrees of the same word. So beta, in 2 degrees of the same word, we got two words such as the word fast and faster. For example, you were asked to compare why has the writer used the word stronger instead of strong and stuff like that. This is an example question that we discussed. Why has the writer used the word better instead of good? 2 degrees of the same word. Or here, why has the writer used the word faster instead of fast? It's like degrees, right? Strong, stronger, tall, taller, stuff like that. And I went into a lot of detail to explain how this word is actually better than this one. The strong option is actually the better option than this one. So if you have not watched that video, definitely watch that video to get up to date. Because that is not the topic of today's video. Today we are not talking about this variety number 1. No. Today we're going to be discussing something even more difficult to decode. So this variety is basically when you have two words that are not degrees of the same word. They're a little unrelated. But beta, before we move on, before we start talking about the actual type of question, I've already told you about the wordings. So the wordings will be like this always. Explain why the writer has used the word or phrase. You'll be given one word here and you'll be asked why has the writer used this instead of or rather than some other word. And you'll be given an expression from the text. So you'll be given a sentence copy pasted from the text and you'll be asked about some word, some given word in the text, that why has the writer opted for this word. Now think about it. Imagine the sentence in the text is, I like to run. An example possible. And the question is, why has the writer used the word run instead of the word dash? Now imagine, let me write two options here. Now think about this. Which of these options makes more sense? Which question makes more sense, beta? The first question, that why has the writer used the word run instead of the word elephant? Does that make any sense to you? Does it? I don't think so. But instead, if I say, why has the writer used the word run instead of the word walk? Does that make sense? Yes. Did this one make sense? No. Why did the word run and elephant not make sense? Because there is literally zero connection between them. It's like when your parents compare you to your cousins. They compare you because there is some comparison, there is some connection, They won't compare you. I hope they don't. I'm assuming they won't compare you to an 80-year-old. They won't say that, oh, look at the 80-year-old. he has achieved so much in his life. They have discovered the potion of life or something. They won't say that, because there's no connection. In a similar manner, when you are asked to compare between two words, it is absolutely essential that they must have at least some connection. That is necessary, right? So that's why the words that we'll be looking at, they will definitely have something to connect them both. Now, I'm trying to keep this video very short and concise, so I won't go into a lot of theory. Right now, directly, we're going to talk about how to answer this question. So, beta, how do I answer this question? Well, what I do is, the first step is going to be, I already told you that there is going to be some similarity between the words. Yeah, there is. But once again, once we're comparing them, like if your parents are comparing you to your cousin, they must be comparing you because there is some difference as well. When you compare two things, I mean, you can't really compare the words, let's say, happy or joyful, right? Because they mean the same thing. So if you're comparing two words, they must have some difference between them as well. Let's take the examples of the word walk and run. Take a minute and think about it. What is a possible difference between these two words? I think the difference is pretty straightforward. The difference is of speed. Between two words, there's a clear difference of speed. Walk is a slower action and running is a faster action. That's the easiest difference. And that is exactly the first thing that you'll be writing in your answer for this question. So even though you get this question for 1 mark only, but your answer will be spread across 2 sentences. And the first sentence, the first thing that you will be writing is about the key difference between the two words. For your first point, you're going to write the key difference between the two words. Let's take the example. I'll give you an example question here. Let me write the question, okay? So, let me write the question, okay? So, let me say that read the sentence from the text. So, the sentence is he tiptoed to the walls. I hope you guys know what the word tiptoe means. So, you have your foot, these are the toes. So, walking on your tiptoes, it's like if you watch Tom and Jerry, so like how Tom or Jerry, when he's like sneaking to get some cheese or something, he walks on his toes like that. That's tiptoeing. So, basically, the question is read the sentence from the text, and the actual question is why has the writer used the word tiptoe? Why has the writer used the word tiptoe instead of the word sprint? Now, I hope you guys also know what the word sprint means. It's like it comes, like sprint race. So sprint basically means to run. So to run means to sprint, and tiptoe, as we know, was like, you're sneaking or something. So beta, to actually answer your question, you'll write 2 complete sentences. The first sentence will talk about the key difference between the 2 words. So what is the key difference? Once again, I think the key difference is speed. So you could say that the writer has used the word tiptoe because it is a slower action. That's the key difference. And the second thing you're gonna be writing about is the result that's created in your mind after reading that word. So the first thing that you're gonna be writing about is the difference, and the second thing you're gonna be writing about is the result. So read the sentence again. The sentence is he tiptoed to the vault. Do you guys know what a vault is? A vault is like a safe. A vault, a safe, a place where you keep your belongings. Like in a bank, you get a locker. It's like that. A vault, a safe, a locker. A locked closed off space where you keep your valuables, gold, money, stuff like that. So basically, think about it. Why would someone be tiptoeing to the vault? Why would someone not be sprinting to the vault? If someone is going to such a, safe space, you could say that they are trying to, or you could say that, he tiptoed to the vault, so it's a slower action, and the writers use the word tiptoe because it shows that the action was hidden. Or what else could be the result? The action was sneaky. They don't want to catch attention. So that is how you structure your answer. I hope that makes some sense to you. But basically, how will you write your answer? The first thing you'll do in your actual answer is, first you'll talk about the change. First you'll talk about the change in the two words. What makes the two words different from each other? What is the difference between them? Although your difference may be small, but it is going to be important. So, what is that small but important difference? So, first we saw that there was a difference of speed. Then, for your second sentence, you're going to talk about the result or feeling that we get by reading the given word. So, the word in the sentence is tiptoed. What do we understand by using that word? We understand that the writer is trying to hide that he's, going towards the board. The action taking place is sneaky. It's being hidden. The writer does not want to catch much attention to himself. That is exactly how you structure your answer. That is the two sentences that you'll write to complete your answer. This was just an example exercise. I also wanted to help take your advice on the differences between these words. So once again, let's look at these two words, march or sneak up. March is like a parade. It's a very disciplined thing. And sneak up is once again sneaky, hidden. So, if you're like, why has the writer used the word march instead of hidden, march instead of sneak up? So, march would probably be like, the difference could be that the writer used the word march because the action is more disciplined. And then the result you can tell by reading the actual text. Okay. So, yeah, this is the difference. So, when you use the word tiptoe, you know that the action is very slow. When you use the word sprint, it's very fast. There's like no care in being in tiptoeing, you're being extremely quiet. So, you're probably trying not to be noticed. So, yeah, that is pretty much it. Now, we're going to be solving two practice questions. To further explain, to further make it easier for you guys to solve these types of questions on your own. Okay, beta. So basically, we can get the difference on our own just by reading the words. But for the results, we'll probably need to know the story as well, right? So to read the result for any part, we do need to know the story as well. That's how we'll predict the result, won't we? Or predict the second part of the question. So second part of the answer actually. So this story, you have not read the story previously, so I'll just quickly try to recap it for you so that it makes it easier for you to solve the question. So basically the story that we are concerned with today is about a deer. Okay, it's technically about a little young girl who is an animal lover. She loves animals, okay? And now she wants to adopt a deer. Alright, however, her mother is not home. But when the deer owner calls, so I'm really quickly recapping the story for you to help you understand how, to help you understand the gist of it. So just wait, this is maybe a new word for you guys. So the word gist means idea. So I'm helping you guys get the idea of it so that we can solve the questions now. Anyways, so this girl, animal lover, wants to get a deer. Her mother isn't home, so she can't ask her mother how the mother feels about the addition of a deer to their extensive animal collection. Extensive means very large, very widespread, already, a lot. So, okay. However, when the deer owner, the person she's going to buy the deer from calls, the deer owner is like, if you don't take this deer today, I'll kill it. Obviously, for an animal lover like her, it's a huge deal. So she's like, no, 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 that clinched it. This fact that the deer is gonna kill him, that clinches it. Clinch means to conclude. That concludes the debate. That ends the debate for her, and then she decides to get the deer before even having seen him ever. When her mother gets home, she really convinces her mother to, let them keep the deer, because she's like, oh my god, if we didn't get it, they were gonna kill him. So her mother is also like, yeah, it's okay. To allow it to be killed was unthinkable when we could keep it in a tiny corner of our garage. So her mother is like, oh my god, yeah, we can keep it in the time, we can keep it like somewhere on the side of the garage. So yeah, it's fine. It's better than having it killed. Then Hortense, that's the name of the deer. Hortense arrived the next day. Then the next day the deer arrived, and he quickly plucked one of my mother's prize roses and began to devour it as if there were no tomorrow. So I'll tell you what this word means. Maybe some of you already know what it means. So the word devour means to eat something very quickly, very hungrily. So the thing is, like, the deer comes to their house after a long journey, and they just quickly gobble up on her mother's prize roses. So prize roses mean that her mother must hold the flowers very dear to her heart, and the deer just comes and eats them. Anyways, the question is, why has the writer used the word devour instead of the word savor in this sentence? So basically, but I already told you what the word devour means. Now, on the other hand, the word savor means something a little different. Obviously, they are both linked. How are they linked? They're both talking about eating. Both of these words are talking about eating. Savor also means to eat. But the difference is that savor means to really, it comes from the word save as well. To really enjoy something you're eating. To really enjoy whilst eating. And how do you enjoy? You save it. You eat it slowly. That is also literally called to relish something. Relish also means to savor something, For example, you get your favorite chocolate. Whatever your favorite chocolate is, like for example, my favorite chocolate is Ferrero Rocher. Or let's say it's Toblerone, for example, right? So if I get my favorite chocolate after like 1 month. Maybe I get it after 1 month, I couldn't buy it in a normal circumstance. So I was like waiting, and then I finally bought the chocolate, or maybe someone brought it for me. Maybe a relative abroad brought the chocolate for me, and then I eat it. So I would probably not want to, just end it in one go. I'll probably want to make it last. So I'll, save it, and I'll eat it little by little every day to make it last like a couple of days. So that means to savor something, to relish, to really enjoy it. Whilst on the other hand, imagine you have not eaten for like 18 hours. Imagine you're fasting. And when it's time for breaking your fast, when it's time for iftar, you just quickly jump on the food and like gobble everything up as soon as you can, as fast as you can, very hungrily. That is to devour something. So now think about it. How are we supposed to write our answer? We're supposed to say that. First, we're supposed to talk about the difference. So why has the writer used the word devour instead of the word savor? Take 5 seconds and think about it. Yeah, time's up. So basically, the difference is that, obviously, the difference is of speed once again. So you could be like, why has the writer used the word devour instead of the word savor? Because the deer ate the roses very quickly. Actually, it was just one rose, so you can say that the deer ate the rose very quickly. He ate the rose very hungrily. Now, for the second sentence, you're supposed to write what result does that tell us? What does that tell us about this action? If he ate it so quickly, what must have been the reason behind it? What could have been the result? So you could say that probably if you read the story, so you're like, the deer has, traveled for a long time. So you could say that the deer probably So it's supposed to tell a reason behind it or a result that it leads you to believe. So what's the reason? What could be a possible reason behind it? Or what result does that help us conclude? So you could say that the deer probably has not eaten for a long time. So the deer is probably very hungry. They have not eaten for a long time because they are devouring it as if there were no tomorrow, as if it were their last meal or something like that. No tomorrow means that they're never going to get to eat again. So that is how you write your answer. First, you write your difference. Secondly, you talk about a result or reason, and that will get you 1 marks completes. This is the possible answer that I've written here. The writer used the word devour to represent that the rose was eaten very quickly, whereas savor would mean he ate it slowly, taking his time. So he has not savored it, he has devoured it. Devour represents an urgency in his action, hinting that the horse was probably very hungry. One difference, one reason, and you're good to go. Now, the second one, I also want you guys to think about this one on your own. Let's read it. Explain why the writer uses the word scolded rather than the word lecture in the expression. She scolded the two boys on their negligence. So, negligence means like carelessness. You're not mindful about stuff, you miss out, you make a mistake. So, for example, you make a big mistake. First, we're going to try to identify the difference between the two words. And what are the two words? We have the word scolded and the word lectured. Now, think about it, beta. Sometimes both of these are like, they show some kind of disappointment. They show some kind of punishment. But scold is more towards like shouting, the shouting side, right? It's even more negative. Whereas lecture could be a lecture, when you're being lectured, it could be more of a neutral thing. Maybe you made like a small mistake and you're just being like, don't do that again. Your parents like, don't do that again. Come on, don't make that mistake and stuff like that. Whereas scold is definitely a sign of really real anger. So if you've really messed up, that is when your parents will be scolding you. Or that is when your teacher will be scolding you if you really mess up. But if you just make a small minor error, they'll just lecture you. They'll just tell you not to do it again and stuff like that. So, what could be a possible difference between the two words? Think about it. What could the difference be? The question is, why has the writer used the word scolded instead of the word lecture? So, what is the key difference between them? Lecture shows that, the word scolded shows that let's assume that it's the teacher. The difference is that scolded shows that there was more anger. Scolded shows that scolded is a more negative word. It shows that there was more anger, right? Instead of the word lecture. Lecture could be just someone explaining why you did something wrong. They might not be angry at you. So you could probably say that the difference could be that the word. And now you have to give a reason for it. So we have not read the text. So obviously you will have the actual text on your exam paper. So you will write the correct reason from the text. But here, since you don't have the text, let's make a guess. What could have been a possible reason for your teacher to scold you instead of lecturing you? So you could say that the boys probably made a huge mistake. Or a grave mistake. So obviously, we won't do this guesswork on your exam paper. We're only doing it right now because we don't have a text from it. It was just to give you an idea of how to get these questions and how you're supposed to solve them. A quick recap. Your question will look something like this. You will be asked why, you will be given a sentence from the text and you will be asked, why has writer used this word instead of this word? How will you answer it? First, you will identify You know that the words are similar. So then you'll identify what is actually the difference between them. You'll write the difference. Then you'll tell us what does the difference, what kind of result does the difference create in our mind. So here, for example, for the word scolded instead of lectured, we know that the boys probably messed up in a significant manner. They messed up a lot. Not just a mild error. It wasn't a mild mistake. It was a huge mistake. It made the teacher very mad. And that is exactly how you'll answer it. One line for difference, one line for results. Please make sure you write both of these lines in order to ensure you get the full marks. If you cancel out or miss out on one of these words, you'll probably not get your entire marks. Alright? And that is good. Remember, this is your use of language question. So try to utilize your vocabulary to the maximum. When you're writing your answer, don't use the same words as those given in the question. So, for example, don't use the same words that are given in the question. So, here the questions were devour, savor. So, use the word ate here. We didn't use the same word back. For here, you could have said that the word is lectured and scolded. So, try not to use the same words again. Try to use a synonym. Any vocabulary you use in this question will help your case. Alright? So yeah, that is it for today's video, beta. I'll see you in the next lesson. Allah Hafiz.